she kisses him, he remembers. It's as if his past lives come flooding back to him, much like when we remember who we are by knowing all is love. Welcome to another episode of TrueLove Talks, one in a series of videos of Vlogmas, in which YouTubers make a video a day about Christmas. Well, when everything is about Christmas in this world, anything's fair game. Today, I want to talk about 9/11, iXXi, the trauma center we live in, and how do I know that everything here is 911? So let's start with the spooky conspiracy theory of the Freemasons leaving their symbolism everywhere like Easter eggs. Conspiracy shills are like, ooh, look at the scary envelope on Gmail and how it matches the Freemason apron. And ooh, look at the scary iXXi and how it forms the square and compass of the Freemason G for the Grand Architect. But where is the explanation of what it means? Tell me why I should be afraid of it. Why should we be scared? Just because the scary Freemasons are liars and they do lying things. Yeah, but why is the symbol itself scary? So you kind of have to figure out for yourself what it all means. They will give you a little bit, but then you have to push further. Otherwise, you get stuck. You get stuck where they lead you. Now, I've noticed that there's quite a few new viewers who've found my videos. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Let me just tell you, these videos are a series of talks in which I discuss truth-related subjects that I cover on my channel. The dominant message on my channel is that everything in this physical reality is a tarot play written in the stars that is put on the world stage, and we are representations of those stars. So if you're new to truth, or if you're conspiracy minded or physically minded, my content might trigger you. It's not going to be what you're accustomed to in the conspiracy minded areas. If you don't like what I have to say, that's fine, but please don't leave nasty comments. Words are swords and they cut wounds. Thank you. And if there's more you want to learn, there's more on my channel that will help you understand what I'm talking about. These videos are not intended to be conclusive or demonstrative by presenting evidence or anything like that. It's just a discussion of my content. The reason I want to talk about iXXi is because it is the foundation of everything, and it seems like there's quite a few people who still don't understand what it means. If you understand this world is more like a dream, which it is, it's a dream, then you need to be able to read the universe in terms of symbolism. So not everything is literal. Not everything is one-sided. There are multiple meanings to everything. So the more you are able to break things into its multiple meanings, the clearer picture you get of what it actually represents. So when you look at something like iXXi, it's not just iXXi, it's also the visual imagery that iXXi symbolizes. It's also breaking down the translation of iXXi. So for example, in Roman numerals, it means 9/11. What does 9/11 mean? There's endless ways of looking at this, but they all connect to the same thing. iXXi encompasses all this data, and that's why it is the root of everything. So I'm going to try to explain in this recording how to go about doing that, which is how I went about doing it. I do have several videos talking about iXXi. I have one very specific video talking specifically about iXXi. Matrix Math series talks about iXXi and the single digit code. So if you want more information, please refer to those videos. I will leave links in the description box. Okay, so to start off with, iXXi is a visual representation of the true nature of this reality. It shows how this reality is created from light reflection. As I said already, 9/11 is iXXi in Roman numerals, which is why the phone number for emergency in North America is 911. These things are not coincidences. So 9/11 is directly connected to the word emergency. An emergency is connected to the healthcare system, and the healthcare system is represented by the caduceus, which is the serpent on the pole with the eagle at the top. This also explains why we live in a trauma center. When we have an emergency, we call 911, and we go to the trauma center of the hospital. Trauma is all around us in this world of suffering, and trauma triggers our emotions, which are attached to our chakras, to prompt healing. When we are healed, we are whole. holy. The Kundalini energy rises up the spine, the pine tree, and lights up our chakras, the Christmas lights, to the top of the spine, which is the pineal gland, which lights up the star or the angel at the top of the tree. And the star and the angel are the same thing. It's an angle of light, which is you. As it says in the Bible, in meditation, let your eye be single and your whole body will fill with light. This is you becoming a shining one. This is why in a lot of decodes that I do, there's a lot of mentions of shining one. Emergency is emerge and see. Your inner light emerges and you're able to see. One becomes a pharaoh as a result of it, and this is why pharaohs wear a headdress with a serpent and an eagle protruding from their foreheads, because their third eye is open. Jesus on the cross represents two things. Man stuck in cube consciousness. It also represents Jesus dying to the physical, because the cube represents physical world, and being resurrected, because as the Kundalini energy rises, it hits the top of the spine, which is the cross, joining the two hemispheres of the brain, which gives you wings. So it lights the light within, and you are Christed, anointed, kinged. The 9 represents Christ consciousness, and the pillars of duality are joined by the process of awakening, because a bridge is built between the two hemispheres of the brain. This bridge is the corpus callosum. It also represents the death and rebirth of the sun, because the sun has set at its lowest point in the sky, hung on the cross for 3 days, and then it is resurrected as a baby, starting its life all over again in the new year. 9/11 also was September 11th. There was a major event that happened on that day. 9/11 is also November 11th, and a major event happened on that day. 9/11 is also symbolic of snakes and ladders, the serpent on the staff, the caduceus. The caduceus is the symbol for multiple gods: Thoth, Mercury, Moses, Enki, just to name a few. And this is because it represents the Kundalini awakening, the two serpents winding up the spine to awaken the pineal gland so you can see. It gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings. November means 9, so November 11th is both 11/11 and 9/11. As the common phrase goes, remember the 11th of November, Remembrance Day. The reason this day is memorialized is so we remember who we really are. This is the wake-up call. This is why people see 11/11 everywhere at the start of their awakening. 11 represents the twin pillars. The colon separating the two sets of pillars is the mirror. We live in a hall of mirrors. Light doesn't move, it reflects. The world is created from light, much like the image of a photograph is created inside of a camera. Our eyes behave exactly like a camera. Conspiracy shills will emphasize how 9/11 is encoded in movies, and they'll go so far as to tie it to September 11th, but they won't go any further. This is to keep you in fear and ignorance unless you move past it. These films encode 9/11 because everything here is about 9/11. Obviously, iXXi is a palindrome. The first half is mirrored in the second half. So IX is equal to XI, only it is the mirror image of it. So this is why November can be both 9 and 11. This proves there's a mirror in the center of iXXi. The mirror is the mind, Mercury. Mercury is what we use to create mirrors. iXXi also contains the mom wow of the sine wave, once again revealing the mirror, as mom is a mirror image of wow. Merge the two together to see the iXXi pattern. The sine wave shows the rising and falling of energy or light. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the single digit code right now. I'm not going to get too deep into it because it requires some visualization in order to understand it. But if you'd like more information on it, please go see my Matrix Math series. 0 is the point of origin. Everything comes from 0. 0 is source. 0 is the point of origin, and all of creation follows the pattern of the Fibonacci sequence. This is beyond the scope of this video, but the movement between these numbers can be charted into what is called the single digit code. Simply put, the pattern of this single digit code shows the rise and fall of light or energy from 0 to 4 and back down again. This creates an octave of 7 notes and 1 repeated note before moving on to the next octave. So in actual fact, it's 7 numbers, just like we have 7 chakras and 7 colors of the rainbow. This is why everything is music, numbers, frequency, and it's where our colors come from. This pattern, when visually charted, shows the negative, positive, red shift, blue shift pattern of duality in this place because it creates the black and white checkerboard of the duality system. It also creates both the cube and the torus. One of the most popular fairy tales we have is Snow White, in which there is an evil witch who is obsessed with her youth. She asks the magic mirror who is the fairest of them all, and is horrified to hear that it is not her, it's Snow White. Snow White is the white light of Venus trapped in the prison reflected out into this 3D realm as 7 colors. She sleeps in a glass coffin, which is the prism of cubed consciousness. She is the fairest because she is pure white light. She is the treasure, the gold, the essence within us we all seek. This is why the story of the Anunnaki coming here to mine gold is not about literal gold, and why pirates are in search of buried treasure, which is typically gold. This is also why the world economy was based on gold. But it's not physical gold that holds value, it's the gold within you, your heart. This is why your heart is locked in your chest, the treasure chest. This is why you cross your heart and hope to die, because X marks the spot where your gold is stored. The witch in Snow White is being told that the physical is an illusion and that the true value is in the white light. The physical fades, which is why she's stuck in a trap chasing youth she cannot keep because the physical does not last. It's so ironic how the physical or tangible fades, whereas the intangible or non-physical lasts forever. And this in itself should tell you that this world is an illusion or an inversion. The XX within iXXi represents the cube and the cross. The iXXi is also a map of the Kabbalah tree of life. And hidden in the middle is Da'ath, which is knowledge or gnosis or G. The tree of life is a cube, and it demonstrates how all words, numbers, and the tarot are formed within the cube. God created the universe using sound, words. He said, "Let there be light." God moved upon the surface of the waters, frequency, vibration. iXXi represents the construct of this reality, the cube formed by reflected light, and all words and numbers and the tarot is formed from the cube. Then iXXi must be the foundation of everything in this universe. God said, "Let there be light." This world is created by sonoluminescence. It is created from words. Words are verbs, reverberation, vibration. So words create. Things come into existence from words. Words are swords. They're weapons. They can cut. They can hurt. They can wound. They can kill. I've already mentioned in this series that the cube represents Saturn, which is why all Abrahamic religions worship the black cube, and Christianity worships the man on the cross. We are trapped inside the cube of time-space. The cube is Saturn and Rhea, where Saturn is time and Rhea is space or area. Rhea is the root of the word rhombus, which is a slanted cube or diamond. The iXXi diamond pattern is constantly shown in coded events using the chain link fence. The XX of iXXi is shown in the Freemason square and compass, which has a G in the middle. The square represents the cube, and the compass represents the circle or the torus. G is gnosis, but it is also gold, God, generative power. It is the light that creates everything. It's no thing. It is at the core of the cube, which forms the vortex. The vortex creates the torus, which is within the confines of the cube. The torus is the bull, the ball, the bow. The signs of the zodiac are formed from the shapes created by the torus, which also appear in nature and are then mapped out in the sky as constellations to tell our story. This is how the tarot play is formed, and I will talk about that tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Hope you're having a great day. Tune in tomorrow for another episode. Bye for now.